What do you think of Tyler Lockett? What does he bring in the return game for
I'll tell you what, he can create his own return, which is the scariest. He's got great speed. He's got great tufts. He's got good vertical burst. Very, very hard to tackle. And the biggest thing in the punt game is he's going to try and return every single ball. So you got to cover all the way down. You can't assume he's, if a high ball that he's going to fair catch it. So we got a very, very big challenge. And the other thing is I think he believes in himself. He's very calm back there. His body, you never ever see any tightness. So he's a good football player.
What sort of addition was Adam Jones to your unit? Kind of came in late in camp.
I think all the guys that have came in have been great. I think everybody that's made the team, deserves to be there. Adam's the thing that I really like about Adam is he's got some swag. He brings it every single day, and he demands it from the other guys. He's 34 years old, and he's out here practicing as hard or harder than anybody else, and it pays off for everybody else to see how he does it. So I think he's not just brought some leadership. I think he's brought some productivity, and he does it on the practice field, and it shows in games.
Can he help change the mentality of the unit as you try to?
Yeah. I don't know if it's change. I think it's keep the identity we're trying to get. He wants a physical identity. We want a physical identity. Coach wants physical identity, and so that's what we want to play with.
You mentioned 34 years old. Do you think that affects his ability in the return game?
Zero.
I mean, you think
no effect.
Looks as spry as he did before?
Looks great. Looks like he's 20.
So you don't view him as just a safe option back there? He also has some big play potential.
Big play potential. Yeah. He's a good football player.
Jano was voted a captain on special teams. What's he mean to your unit?
Number one, accountability. Earned and deserved. What you see is what you get. And you're not going to find a better man. You're not going to find a better player. Okay? And they voted the right way. They voted for the right guy.
Is Joseph Jones also just a huge part of what you're doing?
Yeah, he's a good football player. He's very, very good on special teams. He plays long, he plays big, and he plays fast. And you can stick him out of gunner. You can stick him out of different spots. They got to account for him. He matches up with all body types, which is rare. The safeties, the linebackers. Good football player, and I think we got a lot of them.
How much can you do to game plan for a punter like Seattle has?
You game plan for everybody. Really, when you game plan, to be honest with you, in terms of the punt return game, you game plan the punter, because you got to know where the ball's going. You can't just, hey, let's run this, but the ball's over here. But I think he's very, very talented. Dix has got a huge leg. He's very productive. We call it red line punting. He puts it out on the edges, and he can look you one way, and he can go the other, kind of like Tress Way did to us in Washington. So he made it real hard.
What's the most important stat for you when you look at a punter?
The biggest thing for me, the most important stat, is controlling the returner. So, for example, if we punt 100 times, just because I'm not very good at math, okay? We won't punt 100 times, but if we punt 100 times, I'm looking for 25% coverage. So 75% of the time he makes the tackle. That's a great punter. And the other thing is, with the red line, that we try and punt it outside that red line. We just have to cover that much of a rectangle versus the other one. That's the big thing we're looking for. And net punting is real punting, okay? Gross punting is stats punting.
When you consider all the new kickoff rules, is there one aspect of them you're most looking forward to seeing in a live game setting as opposed to preseason, when you really know how it's going to affect the team and how you might need to adjust? That kind of makes sense?
Yeah, who's bringing it out and who's not. What's the new line? The old line was 5 deep. You put the guy at 5 deep, and if it's deeper, you stay in. If it's up, I think that line's going to increase. I think it's going to go to 7 just because of where the guys are. One stat I'd love to find out is how far they are down the field after 3 seconds versus a year ago. How far are these guys down the field after 3 seconds? And that would help us in terms of deciding should we be bringing balls out, because you can always measure hang time.
Yesterday, Vance mentioned kick return being a courage play, and that's why Phillip Lindsay was well suited for it. But from a technical standpoint, when you look at his skill set, what makes him your best option returning kicks for you?
He's a natural running back. What you'll see with good kick returners is they set it up. Some people call it a track. So, he's going to set that return up, and we call him he's the cheese, they're the mice. We want the mice to go to the cheese, and he does a great job of setting our returns up. He's got a lot of courage, but, don't take it for granted. He's got a hell of a lot of run skill. He's got great speed. He's a good football player with the ball in his hands. And so's Pack, so's Isaiah. We got some good returners. Lang, they're all good players.
What's McMahon done that's allowed him to have the success he did in preseason? I think he was 17 of 18.
I think the biggest thing that Brandon's taken on is he tries to get the ball up. I'm a big trajectory guy, and what you get is a great flight path. He's bought into it. He's got great focus. When it's his day that he's on, he's almost kind of ornery, which is good like a pitcher. And I really love his focus. He's quiet, which isn't who he is, but he goes out there and he's really, really focused and he's getting that ball up. And he believes in Casey and he believes in Marquette, and they just work their tails off.
I would assume getting the ball up like that also helps prevent the blocks.
No question. Yeah, so it makes coaches happy. You know, you got to beat the time and you got to get the ball up to take care of the blocks.
After all these years coaching, first game Butterflies, seeing what you got out there, same now as it was first year? Does it change for you as you move on in this league?
It's the same every single year. Yeah, you know, you have butterflies. You're lying if you don't. And it's good butterflies, though. Like, you want to go play. You just want to go play. It's not nervous butterflies. It's let's go play and play well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.